I made a ton of butter.
Alright, I'm just up on the roof assessing one of the projects that I was considering doing today. Yeah, so as I'm up here, I'm just reminded of how much work there is to be done on this property, especially in the summertime. I would really like to get some things done now on the house so that I can spend all of the warm months in the yard. There's a lot of work to be done. So I put this roof on, the entire roof, the floor and the whole roof assembly, this past fall, right before it snowed is when I finished it, and I'll just show you what I did. So I created this new floor out of 2x10s and this new roof assembly, which is pretty complex. And this will hopefully be several bedrooms and maybe a kind of a common area, a reading room for the kids. This roof makes it look like we've done something. In fact, one of our neighbors, who of course has been watching the progress of this whole place, came to me and he says, you know, I always thought you were a little crazy and I didn't want to tell you anything. He says, now I can kind of see what you're going for though. So, all right, yeah, take that for what it is. All right, we've changed some minds. We've maybe shown that we're not quite as crazy as people kind of still know we are. You know, we're different, that's for sure. But it's enjoyable. I like this life. I really, really like this life. I'm so glad we live here. I really am.
Guess what I made? It never ceases to amaze, even though I do it almost every week. Ah. So this, I just made this butter. It is cultured butter, so it's made from sour cream. We use this on our savory meals. It's got a nice strong flavor, but we don't use it for buttering bread or anything like that. So the oldest cream we use for this, and then the freshest cream we use to make sweet cream butter. And I'm gonna make that, whoops. I'm gonna make that right now. So this is the cream that we got yesterday. You can see that. Okay, if I get the mixer too full with cream, then it's going to splash everywhere when it turns into buttercream or buttermilk. So this is pretty good. Okay, so now we've learned from trial and error that you have to heat up your cream to be warm to the touch, not too warm, but when you touch it with your finger, it just doesn't feel cold anymore. That's the perfect temperature, and then it will whip up way faster. And now I'm just going to constantly stir it so it doesn't get too hot. I'm going to spin. Wow. So the temperature I'm looking for is just lukewarm, not feeling cold when I touch it. If I touch it and it's warm, then the butter might never separate because it's too melted. And if it's too cold, if it feels cold when you touch it, then it's going to separate, but it's going to be tiny little chunks and you won't be able to get them to clump together. Okay, it's perfect. So I love using the whisk attachment. That is usually the most fast way to get it to whip. Okay, so I have a trick for making it not splash. I put tin foil on it. Okay, so after the butter is separated from the buttermilk, then you rinse all the buttermilk out and you knead it in some cold water.
And you eat it. It's easy to over salt the butter. You don't want to do too much. And just mix it in. That's what I do. It's gotten a little bit colder, so it's harder to mix. I cannot even say how much fun this is.
Squishy.
Awesome.
Squishy, squishy.
I mean, who wouldn't want to squish in their hands 2 pounds of butter? So there's the cultured butter, and there's the fresh one. No smell to that. This one smells like a sharp cheese, almost like a sharp cheddar smell, which makes wonderful popcorn butter.
Look at this.
You ready?
Okay, I'll stir it. You guys watching might think this is too much butter, this much popcorn, but
It's barely enough.
there's no such thing as too much butter. Look at you, eating all that butter. Trying to say popcorn?
With a mouthful. You have to